What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sharp Side Saturdays. We got episode 21. One of my favorite guests, Gianni the Greek, making his third or fourth appearance. Gianni, appreciate you being here as always. We're calling the audible. You have a really strong NBA play. Tell us what you like.
I do. And because March Madness is upon us, there's a ton of college basketball. And I've isolated a handful of plays today, but we're trying to isolate a best bet for the viewers. And I've taken a bigger position on an NBA game. And I like to give the strongest regardless of outcome. And we're going to look at the Toronto Raptors at the Washington Wizards. Bottom line, they're playing back to back, meaning this is a road game for Toronto, but Toronto got to sleep there because they just played there on March 2nd. And I always, if you've been following me, you know I'm a huge fan of recency bias and outperformance. Like when a team or an athlete outperforms the market, you can't do it forever. Markets tend to swing like pendulums. They go one way, then they come back the other way. Like if you see just too many dogs in a row, it's like a quarter. You flip it 20 times. If you start getting 18 heads, 2 tails, you could expect it to start evening out. Not that the quarter's fixed, but that's just probability. So you have a matchup here where you have Washington coming in, having outperformed. Look at their last few games, ATS, where Toronto on the flip side has underperformed against the market. They're not covering, but they are winning games. They've won 7 of their last 10. And when they played Washington the other night, they truly underperformed, where Washington played above what they're usually capable of. They shot about 50% from three-point land and put up like 33-point shots. They shot 51%, I think, from the field. They played better. Like no one's ever as good or as bad as they look in any one night. Washington looked as good as they could look the other night. Toronto looked as bad as they could look the other night. And now instead of Toronto being favored in their spot, they're actually, instead of the dog, it flipped. So the Toronto is now the favorite, and it makes total sense because they truly are the better team. I laid -2. It's probably 2.5 now. If you buy the half a point, you're not paying more than you should, meaning on 2.5 in the NBA, if you buy it up to 3 or buy it down to 2 to get a better half point, it costs 20 cents. So you're not getting ripped off. Now, if it goes to 3 in NFL, we know 3 is a key number. It's not in the NBA. You don't want to buy on and off the 3 because that's only worth 19 cents. So you're paying an extra penny. So the book's going to give you that half a point all day. But at 2.5, it's just a break-even proposition. If you're more comfortable laying 2, buy the half point. If not, lay the 2.5. That's what I would do. I like the Toronto Raptors today, laying the 2.5. I think they could win this game by double digits. And I'm waiting to hear what Andrew's going to pass around in MMA. I just real quickly, I know this is a quick hit, but Andrew is one of those guys that's he's not a great self-promoter. And I don't think the viewers truly understand how skilled and how respected his opinion is in mixed martial arts. He influences the market. And anyone that's betting mixed martial arts today that doesn't subscribe to Andrew Gambis is a fool. And I swear to God, I'm not saying, I got to know him over the last year, and I've done this for 10 years. I've done thousands of videos. You won't find me saying this about any capper. I don't think I've said that because I've gotten to know Andrew, and I know just how competent he is. And I don't think he's going to be doing this for a very long time. Like to have the ability to get his information now may be a lot harder for average bettors a few years from now. I'm seeing the trajectory, I promise you. And again, I'm sorry to do that, Andrew, but you're just as solid as they come. There's few in this industry, and you're not a boastful, loud guy. You don't self-promote, and you deserve so much more spotlight than so many others who don't win, don't know the sport or even gambling as well as you do, man. So I'm sorry to take up time on your show, but it needs to be said. And the people that are like the elite at any industry should get spotlight and should get more recognition. And unfortunately, it just the world just doesn't work that way all the time. And Andrew is one of those guys that it will catch up. Like his talent and the recognition will meet one day. And that's when it'll be difficult for normal people to get access to you. I promise you that's what's happening.
I appreciate that, and I'll be paying you for the promotion later on.
Dude, if I didn't know you like friends, I'd be paying for your subscription. I'm not a fool, dude. I check my ego at the door. I do this for money. I don't do it for internet clout. I don't do it to win trophies. I do this to feed my family. And I came here with $600. I was poor. I came up with nothing. So I do this for money. And if a guy I know wins, I piggyback him all day. I got no problem doing that. And Andrew's a winner, man. Let me know what you got. Tell me what you got. I need to stop talking.
Yeah, 100%. And real quick, there are -2s out there still on Toronto, so you guys can still get that -105 at low vig. I love low vig. We were talking the other day about how books in the future might try to put extra vig in the lines. Low vig is always holding that down, so shout out to them. -105 on each side.
Hell yeah.
For MMA, I like Marc-Andre Barrial. I think it's a favorable matchup for him here. He's a volume edge. He's a skill edge. I think he's better offensively and defensively as a striker. And Barrial has struggled in the UFC when guys can chain together takedowns against him. Marcus has never got a single takedown in his entire UFC career. His 2 wins over the last 5 or so years have been over Sam Alvey, who was on a historic losing streak and is out of the UFC, and kind of an ass pull against Maki Pitolo in a fight he was down 2-0 in. I just think he's up against it here. He probably needs to pull something out of the hat because I think he's going to lose minutes. I think that Barrial could finish him. I think he could win a decision. I think that -140, -145 is very cheap here. I think -200 makes a lot more sense. So Marc-Andre Barrial is my pick in UFC. We have a great card tonight, so definitely tune into that. Pay-per-view return of John Jones is going to be huge. So lock in that NBA bet. We've got the Raptors -2. We've got Marc-Andre Barrial -140. Gianni, where can they follow you on social media?
Check me out at Greek_Gambler on Twitter. I'm not on social media as much as I should be, but I do try to put out as much good stuff as I can. Again, thank you for having me on, man, and best of luck to all the viewers out there. Whether you follow or fade, I just hope you cash them, man.
Yeah, and I want to turn this around real quick. You've been in social media a lot recently with like some stuff going on.
Sure, feel free.
Fully endorse everything you do. I've followed your stuff for a while now, and it is very, very clear that you have some of the best stuff. So anyone who's hating on that just clearly doesn't know what's going on. I fully support anyone who wants to tail your picks, do whatever, follow you.
Thank you.
You're my favorite guest to have on here. That's why I've had you on 3-4 times now. Every time you talk, you just can go so much more in depth than most other people can. So shout out to Gianni.
Thank you.
You guys should definitely follow him on social media. Get access to his picks. It is 100% worth it. And anyone beefing with Gianni has to go through me. So
I feel safer already. I feel safer already.
Sweet. Well, thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for viewing. We'll be back every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Real quick, 10 minutes or less, 1 bet each. And yeah, thanks for joining us. I'll see you next week. Peace.
Good luck this weekend.